Missile strikes, paratroopers, and lines of tanks. We are on the ground in Ukraine as Russia attacks.
People were all frantically trying to get out of the city. We met one elderly woman there, Lena. She was in her 70s. She said that she had heard the news of the Russian invasion, but that she had gotten no information about what she was to do from the government. So she was in a bit of a panic about what she should do next. Are you worried for what's going to happen next?
Бачите, мене що хвилює смерть людей. Люди погибнуть ні за що. Тільки із-за того, що хтось жажде крові. Ось що мене хвилює. Ну, це все люди не в силах остановити. Оцього Путіна, даже, допустим. Як його остановити зараз? Дивіться, всі страни, хотіли їздили, хотіли знайти якийсь компроміс, щоб не нападав на Україну, але ж він жадність йому не дає остановитися і злоба. Що я можу думати? Ну що, этим миром править сатана-дьявол.
But not everyone has the means to leave the city, or maybe they don't want to leave the city. Kyiv happens to have the deepest metro stations in the entire world, and we visited one such metro station last night where there were hundreds of people who were seeking shelter from the war above ground. In that subway station, we met Christina, 27.
Ukraine under fire this morning. Sirens wailing and explosions heard in major cities, including the capital, Kyiv. Long lines of cars with people trying to flee to safety. President Biden condemning Russia, saying Putin has chosen a premeditated war that will bring a catastrophic loss of life and human suffering. Russian President Vladimir Putin announced the attack on state TV in Russia, claiming it's intended to protect civilians. During an emergency meeting, members of the United Nations Security Council pleaded for peace.
At the exact time as we are gathered in the council seeking peace, Putin delivered a message of war.
He made a decision for a special military operation in the Donbass.
So I call on every one of you to do everything possible to stop the war.
Ukraine's president declaring martial law, allowing curfews and the seizure of property, saying the future of Europe's security is being tested. The U.S. vowing support.
We're doubling down on our assistance to Ukraine itself, making sure, as we've already done, that we're providing additional security assistance, diplomatic support, economic, humanitarian support.
And reassuring NATO allies.
The world will hold Russia accountable.
The White House says today it will announce significant new actions to punish Russia. In Washington, Bree Jackson, NBC News. A bipartisan effort is underway to respond to Russia's attacks on Ukraine. Later today, members of Congress will be briefed on the situation. In Washington, I'm Bree Jackson for NBC News.
Ukraine is not going down without a fight. Skirmishes lit the night sky over Kyiv as invading Russian soldiers meet stiff resistance. That fireball is a Russian plane downed by surface-to-air missiles. The sound of gunfire could be heard echoing across the capital. Blaring sirens warned of air attacks, sending people running for shelter. Ukrainian troops courageously manned strategic positions in Kyiv, blocking this major highway with tanks and their own bodies. A bridge into the city was blown up by Ukrainians to slow the Russian advance. Ukraine is claiming to have killed 1,000 Russians, and there is evidence the invaders have, at least for now, lost the momentum. This vehicle
is handing out rifles for every able-bodied male to defend his country.
And these volunteers gathered in an abandoned factory are being trained in how to use Molotov cocktails.
You've got to give them a lot of credit. They're fighting for their way of life. They're fighting for their families.
13 Ukrainian soldiers died rather than surrender their remote island outpost to a Russian warship. In the final radio transmission, they were told, disarm and surrender, otherwise you will be bombed. Their response? A Russian tank crushed this car, trapping the elderly driver inside. Passers-by struggled to free him.
Всім добрий вечір.
From a secret location, Ukraine's President Zelenskyy posted this video rallying his people. He said,
Russian tanks rolling across the border in southern Ukraine. Airstrikes hitting large cities, and thousands of people attempting to flee the Ukrainian capital, Kyiv. Footage from Ukraine shows scenes of war after President Putin announced a military operation in the country.
Everyone here is shocked. Everyone here knew that this might be coming for months. It was predicted and discussed. And now that it's here, it's very hard to fathom. And people here, a lot of them have fled, but a lot remain.
Ukrainian officials said strikes targeted military installations, airfields, and government facilities across the country. Air raid sirens blared in Kyiv after President Putin's statement was broadcast.
Мною принято решение о проведении специальной военной операции. Ее цель – защита людей, которые на протяжении 8 лет подвергаются издевательствам, геноциду со стороны киевского режима.
In the early hours of February 24th, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy declared martial law and called for global assistance.
Вже закликав світових лідерів задіяти всі можливі санкції проти Путіна, розпочати масштабну оборонну підтримку, закрити для агресора повітряний простір над Україною. Спільно ми маємо врятувати Україну, врятувати демократичний світ.
President Biden called the move unjustified, pledging new